Yeah, and you're on the punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez, and we got a lot to talk about today in a short period. I think we're going to make it up to the 40-minute mark today. Um, but yeah, I think that's where we're at.
Yeah, I think so.
So, a lot to talk about. We got to hop on it.
Yeah, man. So we got a lot to talk about today. We had a lot of. I tell you what, our show was just. Yeah, I think so.
Ah, so a lot to talk about. So, okay, I'm on. Yeah, the fight page is blowing up pretty big.
Dude, it's been ridiculous. I can't believe how many people hate Canelo Alvarez. They act like they act like that dude had like robbed them of money and ran off with their wives and girlfriends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's sad. I mean,
What's up, Derek?
we were talking about it earlier, and no matter what he does and who he beats, it's never going to be enough. We talked about it on the show. He could go beat Charlo. If he beats Charlo, everybody's going to say, "Well, Charlo didn't fight nobody. Charlo hasn't proved himself." If he beats Better Beef, well, Better Beef's bigger and he's slow and he ain't fought nobody. If he beats Triple G again, well, Triple G's old, and it's the same old shit.
He beats Caleb Platt. If he beats Caleb Platt, he was overrated white boy.
Yeah, overrated white guy who can't fight. So I mean, it's always going to be that way, and people are so biased that it's obnoxious, it's annoying, and they don't know anything about boxing. But those will be the same people who go and say it's okay for world champions to fight 1 and 2, 1 and 3 fighters. So I mean. It just never ends, man, and nobody's ever going to be satisfied. I mean, Canelo, unfortunately, is one of them guys that no matter who he beats, it's not ever going to be good enough.
Sure, absolutely. You know, the thing is this too. On that fight, it was a completely dominant performance. There was nothing I could find wrong with Canelo's performance this Saturday, last Saturday.
Uh, I mean, not only did he, and again, not only did he beat somebody, he dominated the fight. People are also forgetting that he's jumping up 3 weight classes or 2 weight classes. This one, when he
Yeah.
beat Kovalev, that was 3 weight classes. So don't matter though. He can
Dude,
go to heavyweight.
he got heavyweight. They say that Fury was too fat.
Yeah,
Uh, Guadalupe said Canelo's next opponent. It really don't matter, Guadalupe, at this point. They're going to always say something negative. But Guadalupe said, should he stay at 68 and make his opponent come to him? Well, they
I
can't make their opponent do anything. He has to decide what he wants to do. But I think Canelo moving forward is more dominant than him counterpunching.
Yeah, I think it's dangerous for him to not dangerous. I think it does him no good to go to 160 and fight Charlos. Listen, and this goes for everybody listening right now. If he goes down to 160 and fights Charlo or under 80, he's going to get picked on. You're going to say he's a weight class bully. He's
Yep.
cherry picking, and that's the only reason why he beat Charlo and them guys is because he's been fighting
That's,
at 68, and that's unfortunate, but it's the truth. I mean, and everybody's saying they want him to fight Triple G a third time, which I don't get. And if he beats Triple G, they're going to say that's all because Triple G is old now. So
I agree. What really is so profound is people are so fucking biased. Like, I can't believe the things they say. Like, I got reported today. I'm on a 30-day ban today for somebody reporting me for bullying because they brought up Canelo, and like the guy was talking about Canelo. I don't know, Canelo being a shitty fighter or whatever. And I said, why am I arguing with a guy who can't even run a mile?
yeah,
You know, and that's the truth. You have guys that can't run a mile, that never get off the couch, and then they will talk about this person like personally, his personal life.
yep. I don't know, man. Hey, Soapbox goes, we were ringside, fellas. It was magnificent. Coach Derek.
That's awesome.
So, oh, that is cool.
Yeah, Derek's
I
good.
don't,
I like Derek a lot.
I don't understand. I mean, it don't matter. I mean, it, people are going to say he ain't, no matter what he does, it's not going to be enough. And when you said biased, yeah, listen, people are so biased that they don't even care how bad they sound or how fucking uneducated in boxing they sound. Like it's actually sickening. Like if you want to be a boxing fan and say and consider yourself a boxing guru or very knowledgeable in the sport,
Yeah.
and you go and your biasness shows that you're not. Even these guys that argue that we were arguing about, and I don't
Yeah.
want to get into it because we beat that up all the time. But the one
Oh,
thing that we were arguing about earlier, they don't care. You can hit them with fact after fact, and they don't care. They want it's their way and what they believe, and that's their fan, and they're going to be biased. And the same with Canelo. Again,
it,
Canelo could knock out Charlo, Benavidez, and then go up to super middleweight or light heavyweight and knock out Beterbiev, and everybody's going to say that he's still overrated.
right now we're hearing, the punchline of Canelo fanboys. Me and you are the farthest from Canelo fans. We are not Canelo fans. We've made it clear before we're not. But what I do recognize is talent. I recognize greatness. I recognize great fighters. It doesn't matter what color you are, because I've heard that too. You support only Mexicans. I do not.
No.
And I recognize greatness. I recognize talent. And that's what I saw that night. Me, I'm not the biggest Canelo fan. I never have. It has nothing to do with the clenbuterol. I just never liked. I just never liked the way he fought coming up.
Yeah.
Over the years, he's kind of won me over with his style.
And and I agree with. I mean, so here's my take on it. This is for the idiots that say that. First of all, maybe you could have got me when I was backing Lomachenko because let me see here real quick. Lomachenko fought for a world title, a second pro fight, and lost in a 12 rounder, which nobody does. And then went on to put the winning streak on and beat the guys the way he did.
Yeah,
Um, I like Shakur Stevenson. We like Victor Ortiz. These are
I like
all
Thomas.
legitimate fighters. Um, I'm behind Haney right now. I still think Haney could make some noise at 135, but also Tiafimo showed me a lot in
Yeah,
the last fight. So now I got to I'm leaning more towards the top of that division is Tiafimo.
well,
Um,
my mic's going in and out. I don't know. I'm just.
so every weight class we talk about is legit fighters. The only ones that disagree with us is there's an agenda. Why
Yeah.
there's a reason. And
I'll tell, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Let's be honest. I mean, let's be honest. I'm gonna say I know. Usually, when somebody hates Canelo, it's a racial reason. It has to do with race, and they back their own, which is fine. That's what you do. That's what you do. Or there is some personal, deep reason. Maybe you're the anti-drug, whatever. But clenbuterol is not a steroid. It is not. You're not getting muscle. And I hate them saying clenbuterol is steroids. No, it's not. I can't stand the steroid police. They all think they know about steroids, and they don't.
yeah.
Yes,
Oh, but let me go back on that. So, with that being said, I was the first one to come down on Canelo with that too, though.
yeah.
I really was because my opinion is it's not a steroid, but it's a total. It helps a
With reason.
tremendous amount. It's one of the biggest things that could help give somebody an advantage going into training camp is
Yeah.
glenbuterol. It is, and that's the biggest part. So it's
Oh,
cheating. It is. It's cheating.
when we were at the Triple G fight and Canelo fight, we found out about that. Weren't you the one that called for him to be brought up on charges because you said it should be assault?
Yeah, anything that gives you that much of an advantage that you didn't do on your own, yes. So with that being said, but I can't deny him now. He's not failing drug tests.
Yeah.
He's not getting caught with them, and they're strict on that. And you better believe that the commissions and everybody else is on that. And he's passing, and he's still beating these guys. He looked the shittiest when he was on that. So maybe you guys maybe
You
most
might
of his
want to
opponents may want him to get back on that shit.
Hey, Tyler, we have some questions here. Angel said, did he say he wanted to unify 68? Yeah, he did say that in Spanish, that he wanted to unify 168. But you can't make these other dudes want to fight.
Yeah.
And, uh, Guadalupe says, what about Spence and his remarks wait for Canelo? You know, let's be honest. If Canelo fights Spence, you're going to hear Canelo fought a smaller guy.
Yeah.
Canelo Spence does not need to be in the ring with Canelo Alvarez.
I don't want to see that fight.
No, he will beat up Spence.
I know, and I don't want to see it because Canelo, like that's what I'm saying with these guys. They'll throw all these names out, and when Canelo handles them, it'll be a reason why he's not. And my big thing on that too is just not with Canelo. I defend all these guys today, fighters. Everybody's always putting them down. They don't fight nobody. And again, it's going back to that other one where, well, you guys everybody, bows down and kisses the ass of all the guys that fought in the 70s and 80s, but you don't want to give these guys credit today. You know what I
He's
mean? Like,
sucking dick. He's sucking dick.
yeah, I mean it's sad. It's horrible. I give credit where credit's due, and Canelo, in my opinion, deserves it. And I hate to say it now, would it be interesting to see him fight because Earl Spence is daring to be great? So would I want to see Canelo in that fight happen? I think it would be cool. Let's see what Earl Spence can prove, right?
Yeah.
But I know what'll happen because of the idiots out there will be like, "Oh, well, he's just cherry picking. He's wait." And even though they're saying they want him to fight Earl Spence, he'll never get the credit for it.
No. No. But here's the thing too. As the boss says, while we're on the topic, was Aaron Pryor a cheater? I don't know. I don't know what was in that bottle that night. I have no idea. I couldn't even comment on that.
Yeah, you
For
can't even prove that one. I mean, it could have been anything.
all Aaron Pryor a cheater, but I do know he was a fantastic fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that. But a lot of fans will say, "Oh, he's a cheater." They didn't even know what was in the bottle that night. They weren't 3,000 miles from the arena.
It might have been a fucking espresso. Who fucking knows? I mean, this is, it could have been caffeine. Could have been
Kareem,
water.
well, knowing all joking aside, knowing Pryor was probably cocaine.
I said cocoa.
I didn't want cocaine. I wanted cocoa, and then they gave me cocaine.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to fall out sideways that night, wasn't it? He fucked Aaron Pryor up. But Esteban says, Kareem says, they'll also say Spence was all hype if he loses to Canelo. Of course they're going to say Spence is hype. And we all know Spence is a great fighter. He's one of my favorites.
He is one of my pound for pound right now.
And you know what thing I like Spence? He's classy. He doesn't talk a lot. He doesn't say a bunch of dumb shit. He just wants to work.
Mm-hmm. David said, what's up, fellas? Simon goes, I think Benavidez would be more than willing for a Canelo fight, but it's all up to the intangibles of promoters and money being right. And it is.
That's right.
It is promoters. And
Well,
David goes,
but Esteban, Benavidez was having trouble. He can't even beat the scale.
yeah, so that's another issue right there. And then Damon goes, did Canelo look like a different fighter, more aggressive with heavy pressure?
Yes. Yes.
No, he looked the same to me. I think he looked like he was adding more pressure because Callum was retreating more and dancing more to the ropes. I
Well,
don't think it was anything that Canelo's there in front of you.
yeah.
And he walks at you slow and slowly but fast. He kind of just pressures you and wears you down, and it's a lot of it's mental too because he's not overwhelming with the pressure, but he's putting just enough pressure with the head movement, and he did that like he does against everybody. I just think because Callum retreated more to the ropes and was trying to
Yeah.
get away from him, it looked like he was adding more pressure, but I thought he just did a great job.
Well, Kelly, I think the difference is where Canelo started earlier. He never starts to about the fourth or fifth round. He's kind of a slow starter, and he's never the aggressor. He's a counter puncher. And this time, I think he knew that Callum didn't have that for him, and he walked to the offensive guy. So that was different from him. But defensively, I think he looked better defensively than he has in some of his other fights.
Yeah, may have. Oh yeah, I mean he looks good. That's hard to say too. I mean, he did. He looked great. He looked good in all his fights. The guy got good defense.
When you slip an uppercut by just moving your chin, I'm like, oh,
The only thing I don't like from Canelo,
yeah,
and I may be wrong, and one day I think it's going to come back to bite him in the ass,
yeah,
is when he'll sometimes last second he'll pull back and he'll turn.
oh yeah, sure.
And listen, that's more of a natural like. I think that became where he was the last minute doing that, and I think he kind of picked up on it, made it a habit. Yeah, it is. It is cool and it works because it's subtle and it's a quick move without having to use a lot of energy or body movement. But if something goes wrong one time and he turns that head like that and somebody catches him, it's going to be Coyton's.
And somebody hits with that right hand.
Yeah, because you ain't got to hit him hard at that point.
No. Darren says Canelo has so many options, especially in the free agent. He's in a great position. Absolutely. Ruben Gutierrez says, what else does Canelo have to prove? He doesn't really have to prove anything, but he should. Right now he's in a great position. He can fight the fights he wants, and it's not going to ruin his legacy. He's already a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Les says, howdy, boys. How you doing, Les? Oh, Kelly, before we go any farther, I want to congratulate you on your acceptance into the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. You deserve it.
Oh, thank you.
I got a friend in the Hall of Fame. I can't even believe that shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, homie. Simon, because I thought the overwhelming consensus from the commission investigation was that it was sugar and water that Panama Lewis put in Pryor's water. Everyone
Possible.
involved is all passed away, so no answers now.
No.
And Ricky said he did some. Pavlik said he did some damage to Smith's left arm.
Well, there is somebody alive right now that was there. Our buddy Rudy Hernandez was there. He was a
Yeah.
sparring partner. Remember?
Okay.
So I think he knows the truth. I think he knows what went on. But we got to twist his arm to get the answer. You know what? If you buy him some Korean barbecue or sushi, he probably tell you.
I owe Rudy a barbecue, Korean barbecue.
I know. He's gonna. No, we'll Larry Gonzalez for Korean barbecue too. You remember?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he'll take care of them guys.
But I'll tell you what. What did you think about the fight overall, though?
Great fight. Great fight. I thought Canelo just did a really good job. Hey, listen, is Callum Smith probably the most lethal 168 out there? No, no, he's not. And we're not being that naive either. He's a world champion. No, he was. It was big. He made just a presence next to Canelo. It was just a huge factor. And for Canelo to go in there and dominate the way he did, that just goes to show you the levels of skill and talent. I thought it was a great fight. I
What
really
I
did.
know is this: where are all the people that had Callum Smith beating up Canelo
Yeah,
for fight and reaching at it? Where they all go?
I've seen a lot of those because I was one who said that I thought that it was going to be a good fight for the first couple rounds, and I said I thought Canelo was going to have to pull some shit out, and
Yeah,
I picked Canelo. I picked Canelo to win. I said Canelo open it up. He'll figure out Callum by the fifth round,
yeah.
fourth or fifth round, and he'll beat him up at the end. So I was somewhat wrong in that because Canelo beat him from opening round.
I thought Canelo was going to walk right through him. Remember?
Yeah, I mean, so it's
Oh,
Fervent Carrasco says, I said Benavidez gives Saul Alvarez real fits.
you know what? I would rather have Bivol against Canelo.
Uh,
Bivol's a 68 guy now. Why not? And I think Bivol has a style that would be hard on Canelo because his boxing is perfect and fast. He hits hard.
um, Benavidez may be kind of the same too, though. I mean,
Yeah,
he's another big guy who could fight because
he is.
Benavidez, I think, knocks out Callum Smith
Yeah.
in the fight. Um, that's
No,
it.
not Cal Smith. He ain't knocked out Cal Smith. Cal Smith was undefeated going in against Canelo.
No, I said I think if Benavidez was
Oh,
going to
yeah,
fight
yeah.
Callum, but I don't know. I mean, that's either or. Now, I could honestly come out and say right here.
Yeah,
If Canelo fought, because I think like your greatness can only get you so far, and it's happened to all the greats.
yeah.
You can only go so high before you're shut down, and it's like, hey, you can't defy science,
You
and it's
can't
just
fight physics.
yeah, you can't. I think trying to go up and beat guys like Beterbiev or Bivol or even Benavidez, he's too small, and them guys are just too good, too talented at that weight.
Yeah.
If them guys were naturally smaller and or middleweights, now it's a totally different ball game.
Yeah, but you got Bivol, who's a 168 now, and he's always been a small light heavy.
Yeah, but Bivol also been used to fighting top 175, and he's coming down to 68 now. So I mean, I honestly could say I'm giving Canelo all the credit, but I don't think he beats Benavidez. I don't think he beats Bivol and guys like that. I mean, it's too much. That's why I say go back down to 60. You got the fights there, even though nobody will give you credit, but you still got Charlo and Andrade and guys like and Billy Joe Saunders.
Kelly Esteban says, do you guys agree that Canelo's defense with zero holes gave Smith plenty to fire at, allowing Canelo to come forward with no fear? There was holes there. There's always a hole, Esteban. Nobody's defense is perfect. There's a hole. But the problem was, I think, and Kelly might disagree with me, but I think that Canelo wasn't afraid of him. There was nothing to keep him off of him. But there's always, and I think Cal Smith has a problem with punch selection. As a guy with a good defense, what you need is good punch selection to get past some of those holes, or to find holes is punch selection. I don't think Cal Smith had that punch selection in his arsenal to open Canelo up. Because if you can't find a hole with these guys, you open one up.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he didn't have to worry about that in this last fight. I think if there's any issue with Canelo is sometimes that he's too comfortable, too relaxed, as we've seen in some of the fights against Triple G in the first one. Some even though he won, but even against Danny Jacobs, I think if you really got somebody in there, like a big, strong volume puncher,
Yep,
that's going to give him fits. Guinea goes very disappointed with Smith. He didn't do his job as a pro and champ. His job was to at least try to win.
he did.
Guinea, listen, you can't say that, man, unless you've been in there. When you get in there at that high level and you're fighting a guy and he's excuse my language, but fucking you up. You're trying to get to the finish line because you still have an ego. You don't want to get knocked out, and that's what happens. You're getting to the finish line and you don't want to get knocked out, but you're not giving a shit what anybody thinks at that point.
Oh, I think also too was he tried to fight. Even the 12th round, he was throwing punches. He was trying.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say he didn't act like a champion. He did everything he could.
he tried. I mean, he could. Yeah, in my opinion, I was watching the same thing. And I was going, man, just like fire back. At this point, you got to squeeze that butthole and just go in there.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I'm being realistic and putting yourself in this spot. He don't want to. He don't want to engage no more.
no. Um, Darren says, "What about Canelo fighting Pascal and grabbing another belt at 175?" The thing is this. Here's what I think. If he fights Pascal and beats him, he won't get credit for it.
No.
It's a risk that you don't need to take. They're gonna say Pascal's overrated. It's old. What's the point?
Yeah, because that's Dangerland when you start getting up there to 75, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
That's way again. Canelo was a decent size, and I say this truly for this day and age, junior middleweight. So you're talking about him going to 175. Come on, man. I mean,
5 foot. They have the 5'8". I said bullshit. He's 5'7".
yeah, that's pushing it right there. Again, can he be? He showed us against Kovalev, guys like that, but you're taking a chance. If I was him, I would definitely stay away from 75.
Yeah. I stood next to Canelo, and I'm not the tallest guy in the world. I'm taller than Canelo.
Yeah,
So,
by less than a half an inch.
shit, I'm taller than that. 2 inches.
Carrasco goes, Saul Alvarez versus Kelly Pavlik would have been an awesome fight at 160.
Yeah, he would have had his work cut out for him. Canelo would
Again,
have.
and the only reason why I say that, I'm not saying it because it's me. I'm just saying because of the strength, my chin, and punch output.
He
Again,
did have trouble.
yeah, Canelo don't like that punch output.
Also, as the boss said, Smith isn't a bad fighter. The situation was the fight made him look bad. He was trying. I agree.
Yeah.
As the boss said, he's 5'7", but I lie. I'm 5'8" heels. About right. Fair enough. But here's my thing, Kelly.
What?
Oh, you hear Platt and Andrade and Charlo barking about wanting to fight Canelo. My question is, why do any of these guys fight each other?
I agree.
If you want to show how great you are, that you deserve that fight at Canelo, fight each other. Fight Andrade against Benavidez. Fight Platt against Charlo, and whoever comes up on top deserves that shot. There was a comment we made the other day, and it probably came out wrong, but in the 90s and 2000s, the welterweight division was stacked, and the junior middleweight division was stacked. You had everybody wanting to fight Oscar De La Hoya because he was a big cash cow.
Mm-hmm.
And you had Trinidad, you had Ike Cortez, you had Shane Mosley, you had Vargas, you had Winky Wright, you had all these guys that wanted this fight. And did all of them quit fighting because they couldn't fight Oscar?
Yep.
No, they fought each other.
Listen, the original Four Kings should have been that welterweight division.
I agree. Shane Mosley,
should have been De La Hoya, Trinidad, Mosley. Fuck, you could put Cotto
Yep.
You could put well, who else can you put? You could you could put
Floyd.
Mayorga.
Well, Floyd,
You could put
Floyd,
Forte.
Floyd, Oscar, Shane Mosley, and Trinidad, Shane Mosley, yeah, whatever.
If somebody ever took the time and I had that, but that was on my old Facebook account. Remember that list I had?
Yeah.
And you compare the four kings to the '90s and early 2000s
Yeah.
welterweights. It is a the you talk about consecutive fights. Them guys, first of all, they had more title fights than all the guys, the original four kings.
Bro.
More title fights, and there was no 0-1, 0-2, 11 and 12, 23 and 17. You know, there was none of them guys. There was a couple in there that were like 23 and 6. But other than that, you know, it was all champion names.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
Corley, this person,
dude.
John Molina.
Obakar, even.
Yeah.
Dude, have you
Chavez,
through Oscars? Have you went through Oscar's resume?
Pernell Whitaker. Even though Pernell was old, but Pernell was still slick in boxing and making people look bad. I mean, they fought everybody.
Well, have you went through Oscar's resume? It was one. It was a champion or contender. It was never like there wasn't a guy 0-2. These guys were like high level. Every one of them.
Oh shit, Floyd Mayweather.
Well, that's like Mayweather,
There.
who I think is the greatest fighter in history.
Yeah. The only one out of the four kings that I can give credit to that really fought, like like I said, if social media was around in the '70s and '80s, it'd be a lot different. The
Yeah.
only one was Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard had like a legit, but Sugar Ray Leonard didn't have a long reign. People don't understand that. That when I pulled that up and I put that down at one time, I think it was like literally 8 fights. Okay, that wasn't a big one. Oh shit, Pacquiao has knocked out and stopped more champs than any of the Fab Four.
See,
That's
Kelly,
Pacquiao.
it's funny. We're biased. We're biased, but our favorite fighter, Shane Mosley, or not Shane Mosley, it's Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, but you know, you can put Pacquiao in with it because Pacquiao was fighting it during that.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, in fact, at 147 too. When he was at 47, but my thing is this: you have what my point was. You have all these guys right now, these 4 or 5 contenders that all want to fight Canelo, but they're not fighting each other.
No.
And what's the excuse? They're 4 of them are promoted by the same promoter.
Yep.
So look, so what they remind me of is this: they remind me of like 4 or 5 little baby birds in a nest, and Canelo's that big mama bird, and they're waiting for him to come feed them.
I
And
know. I don't get that either. Like everybody's building these guys up. Everybody's defending Andrade. Everybody's defending Charlo. Everybody's defending their shitting on Canelo. And it's like, you. What are you guys gonna? I agree. Like, when are you gonna get on them about fight? And it's not. I shouldn't say get on a fighter. That promoter that promotes all of them, you gotta get on him.
okay, but what do we do about this? Charlo got the contract for Kana Islam, which is 100%. Roger has the contract, right? The copy of it, okay? We saw the contract. I've seen the contract. You can look at it. Roger had the contract between Kana and Charlo. Charlo threw that thing in the trash. Or no, Andrade, I'm sorry. Andrade threw that in the trash. He didn't want no part of Kana Islam. I don't want to hear shit from Andrade anymore when you don't want to fight a guy that just came off a torn Achilles tendon injury.
That's what I'm saying. Andrade, he's a good fighter. But at my point on that, when you start fighting, when you just start fighting anybody,
Yeah, anybody.
just a body, even a guy getting off work at the steel mill and coming right to the arena to fight you, it's a fight. Like you got to fight more than once every 3 years.
Darren says, Guadalupe says, Canelo trying to be undisputed 4 belts. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I can't answer for Canelo. You know what? Here's what I think. I think I think there's a time where even Canelo is going to realize the more belts you have, the more problems you have, because you have to pay sanctioning fees on all these
Yeah.
belts. And 2.5% of 20 million or 30 million this weekend. That's a lot of fucking money.
I think Canelo might be to the point where he don't care
On
about
all
that
your
either.
belts. He pays on all those belts that were defended that night at 2.5%.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to care much to get. He may do that just for another couple more fights to get the 4 belts. I don't think at this point, after the last couple fights, he's worried about it.
He was smart. He's still worried about it.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to vacate? You didn't want all those belts.
No, but that's I'm just saying after he's probably sitting there with probably 100 mil right now in the account. No, and again, he may not either. I agree with you on that. He may say, you know what, and I don't blame him. If you don't want to pay that money and you know your worth, I mean, like he's saying, I don't. Why does Canelo need to unify? Canelo don't need, to be honest with you. Canelo don't need one belt. Canelo don't need to keep a WBC. He don't need to keep any of them. He's still going to get the big fights, and people are still going to want to fight him because it's Canelo, and it's still a big money fight.
You know, it's funny though, Kelly, that you bring it up. It's funny, they all hate Canelo, but they all tune in to watch, don't they?
Yep.
You remember Floyd? They all hated Floyd, but they were watching. Whether you like them or dislike them, you're still paying the $20.
That's what I'm saying. You think Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, or Canelo Alvarez really needs a belt to get a big fight?
Absolutely not. The
For
champion, the fighter makes the belt. The belt don't make the fighter.
exactly. I mean, they don't. They're at that level where they're going to draw millions and make millions. It don't matter.
Frederick Stark has a good question. I'll let you answer it. Does Billy Joe Saunders cause Canelo problems at 168?
No.
I think he's the weakest of the bunch.
Yeah, I do too.
You know what, Frederick?
Another one. Everybody's talking. Billy Joe Saunders. Fucking
He
fight
don't
somebody.
But my thing is this: Billy Joe does not hit hard enough to keep Canelo off of him. He's slick, yes, and he moves around well. But you can only go 20 by 20. That's all you can go in that ring. And Canelo's a great counterpuncher. He cuts off the ring well. My thing is this: with a guy like Canelo, you need power to keep him off of you. And even Triple G had to pick it up to keep him off of him because he has a great chin. So I think maybe towards the middle of the rounds he'd knock out Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah, I do too. Ricky goes. There was a big upset on the undercard. I did see that. People with good footwork give Canelo problems sometimes. Not really though, Rick. I mean, he said that. I don't think that's an issue, and believe me, that's not going to be an issue with Billy Joe Saunders.
Rick likes Billy Joe though.
David says Canelo has Kelly Pavlik straps he earned from beating Cotto. Then Canelo beat Govakin, Triple G, and Jacobs. Canelo is literally the 160-pound champ, and nobody is challenging him at 160.
No.
Can't break it down better than that.
Esteban says, in your opinion right now, who's the pound for pound left-handed fighter in your opinion? Left-handed pound for pound would be Spence. He's the best pound for pound left-handed fighter. But you can Crawford too because he's ambidextrous. He can fight with either hand. But I would say Errol Spence is probably the best left-hander in boxing.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go back to that real quick, Damon. I appreciate that. All this shit happening at middleweight right now really is because of me. I have my fucking finger in that motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't do it, champ. Don't do it. Don't do it, champ.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Put that dead possum on the bottom when you say that. Don't do it, champ.
Well, yeah, that's ready. That was when David put that the other day. That was funny as hell.
Frederick, I don't know if he can make 60. I hope he says he can, but I don't know. He's a small guy. He works hard training, so I don't know though. We'll never know until he has a catch weight of 163.
Oh, that's another one. Oh yeah, Canelo. Oh, he fights at catch weights and this.
He has not done it in years.
It just don't end, dude. When you correct them or you put somebody in place, they fire back with that. That's catch weights.
In my case, they attack me personally. Fuck you. What do you know about boxing?
Yep.
Okay. You never fought before.
James, they told me that. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
I know. They say, "How would you know? You never boxed." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I mean they don't get. It's just it's crazy, man, and I'm really like over it. I say I'm over it, and I always find myself crawling back to that
At 3 in the morning,
page.
on that rabbit hole.
Yeah, back to that page, just fighting because I see something that I have to comment on.
My favorite is when they go like this. Who the fuck are you to be telling me? Well, he was a middleweight champion. Kelly who? They don't even know, and they're running the like
Yep.
You know what? I hate arguing with somebody when they get on a personal level and you have to personally attack them. Dude, that is ridiculous. Just you don't have to say ignorant shit. You don't have to say, "Oh, you have no reading comprehension."
No, no. Oh, we got 5 more minutes. 4 more minutes now. So see if we get a couple more questions in. Was there anything other? I mean, let's real quick on that undercard. Ricky did bring up about the kid getting upset.
Yeah. Well, what was the young fighter that came in with a great amateur record? You know what? I fought his dad in the
Oh
amateur.
yeah, yeah, he didn't look good at all.
Yeah, Mark. You know, I fought his dad in the amateurs in 1989 at the Pomona Fairgrounds. But that kid, I was not impressed, Kelly.
No, I mean let's go
No.
this pro debut. So I'm trying. I'm going to say let's see a couple more fights from now because everybody progresses differently. But
Great.
yeah, from what I've seen right there, wasn't impressed though.
But you know, I talked to Roger, and you know he's so familiar with him and a bunch of things. They're all from the same program and stuff. You know the area.
Yeah,
And that the sparring, even the sparring up to this like this, he's looked like shit. It's not just like he's not making that transition from the amateurs to the pros.
to the pros.
He came out leaning right hands. Like, what are you doing? You're just throwing. You know, maybe it's like as a former trainer, and I know you as a trainer. I want to see my young guys come in there, and I want them to work behind the jab. And I want them to work behind the right hand. I want them to move their head. And when a knockout comes, it comes. If it don't, it don't.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, let's try to hurry up and get this in. You got Damon's. He said, "Oh yeah, I want to congratulate Fernando Vargas Jr. on
Yeah,
his debut. Um, looked good. Boy, did he hit that kid with some shots." And then Damon said, "Guys, break down what it takes business wise to challenge the champ. How do you get a fight with Canelo, which is resume and strap count?"
you want to tell them, Kelly?
Yeah,
Oh,
that you're.
before you start, Sakura says she wishes us both a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. My
Oh, thank you. Same to you.
Sakura, she has a great show with Christine Lopez now.
Had fun. Had a blast on her show.
Well, no, you know she's doing a show with Christine now. Her and
Oh
Christine.
shit! Really?
Yeah, Sakura Christine.
Got to get on that.
We got to get on that.
Those are ladies right there.
Yep, the first ladies of boxing, both of them. I want to be on them show. I want to be between them girls.
Hell yeah.
Not like that. You know what I mean, right?
No, I know what you're saying. Real quick on Damon's. Damon, that's a good question, but it all depends. If you're, if you're a mandatory, which sometimes don't mean shit, but usually you got to get yourself into that. If you got the draw and the people and the money could be there, that helps. The business part of it comes down whatever is negotiated, but that don't include the fighter knowing or his trainer, whatever they do in the back behind the scenes, nobody knows why. I mean, there's always an avenue for these promoters, and I get it. And I think the only way is you got to position yourself and really go out there and
Hey,
make.
Kel, I think what he's looking for you to break it down for some of the fans how these fights get made.
Oh,
That's what he's trying to do. Some of these fans don't understand how fights get made. They think the champion gets out of bed one day and he gets out and goes, "I'll fight you," and then they fight.
no, it's a whole. First of all, it's a process, and a lot, and everything's in play. You got boxing, the title organizations who have their own rankings and rank where they want and put you where they want. You have promoters that have their hands in those rankings. So how these fights are made is you have either your agent or matchmaker is positioning you for the promotional company, and they're getting these fights where you coming up to that point, and they start either. And one way that you fans can know is when you start seeing um, a guy fighting a southpaw, right? One of the guys that are ranked number 2 or 1, and he's a big prospect, and he's been on TV, and you see him fighting a southpaw, right there could be saying, "Hey, this guy's getting in line for Spence, probably." And the promoter knows something that we don't know, but it's hard for me to explain how the fights are made. They're made by the promotional companies. Pending if the promotional companies don't have a beef with each other, they'll work together on co-promotion of the card and make the big fights. You know, you know a better way to explain it?
No, I asked you because you have more experience in that than I do. You
Yeah,
know,
it all comes down to positioning, how they're moving you, what the promoter wants from you, who the promoter is friends with. Yeah, if they're not beefing with another promotional company that has that fighter,
yeah.
the marketing ability, how much money you could draw or that opponent can draw. There are a lot of factors that go into it, and it's really deep.
Hey, Kelly, my cousin Eddie from New Mexico, my second cousin. He says, "Great show, guys. Wishing you and Kelly the best, Primo." I figure if he's family, he's your family too, Kelly.
Heck yeah,
See, see, Eddie, you can tell people Kelly's your family.
there's Gabby.
Yeah, she's been on the show.
Damon said Gabby.
Thank you,
Thanks,
support.
Damon. That was a good question, Damon. All right, got to wrap it up. Good show.
Hey guys, are we off for the holidays next week? No, we
Uh,
should. Tuesday, right?
yeah, probably.
All right.
So, all
And
right,
hey, ring the bell,
share.
like, share, and if you have any questions that we didn't get to, message them. I'm in Facebook jail, but somebody will get to them. And all right, guys, have a good holiday.